NYPD officer now charged in a road rage shooting in New Jersey. He was off duty at the time, but investigators say he used his service weapon in the attack.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer. Well, we have ourselves a doozy today. Apparently, in the last couple days, there's been an arrest of a New York City Police Department officer named Hieu Tran, who is a 27-year-old officer assigned to the social media unit. And apparently, this guy got into a road rage incident off duty and ends up shooting the other person that he was involved with in the road rage incident in the state of New Jersey in a place called Voorhees Township. So let's go take a look at the Eyewitness News ABC7NY coverage of this story, and then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit.
We begin this afternoon with an NYPD officer now charged in a road rage shooting in New Jersey. He was off duty at the time, but investigators say he used his service weapon in the attack. And good afternoon to you. I'm Liz Chow.
And I'm Lauren Glassberg. David is off today, and the officer surrendered today after the incident 3 weeks ago. He's now facing attempted murder charges.
Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu is live in Lower Manhattan with the details. Janice.
Liz and Lauren, that officer Hieu Tran waived his right to an extradition hearing, meaning he waived the right to that hearing. So he will be transferred to custody to the Camden County Prosecutor's Office, and that, we're told, could happen at any moment later this evening. Now, the 27-year-old is charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose. Now, authorities say Tran shot a driver during an apparent road rage incident last month in Voorhees Township in southern New Jersey. Now, on May 17th, officers responded to a multi-vehicle crash and found a 30-year-old driver who had been shot. Now, authorities say Tran shot the man and caused him to drive into oncoming traffic and therefore hitting another driver. Camden County prosecutors and Voorhees Township police were able to ID Tran as the suspect and say he used his department-issued gun. The driver taken to the hospital, and he's still there 3 weeks later. Now, Tran joined the NYPD in February of 2021, and he had been assigned to the social media unit with the public information unit since last year. Now, Tran, we're told, has been suspended without pay, which is department protocol in situations like this. Again, Tran waiting to be taken to Camden County anytime here in the next several hours. Live in Lower Manhattan, Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
So one of the things that really blows my mind about this case is that this isn't a situation where, you know, he used his department service weapon and called his command staff and was like, hey, guys, something just happened. It was out of control. I had to do what I had to do. I need to file a report. Tell me what the next steps are. He left. He fled the scene. He ends up stopping at a gas station where they were able to match the vehicle based on the description and use surveillance to figure out who the owner of the vehicle was and then do an investigation. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this guy didn't show up and say, hey, I'm a police officer and this happened. He shot this guy. The driver became incapacitated as a result of being shot, such that he couldn't control his vehicle, and he ended up causing like a major crash in the Voorhees Township area. And Tran just leaves. He just leaves the scene, and they actually had to figure out who he was, like the first 48 style, and actually piece together this thing with detective work. They were even able to get a rush on the ballistic results from the crime lab and match it to his service weapon. And he ends up just going on to work like nothing ever happened. And they ended up charging him with attempted first-degree murder, second-degree aggravated assault, and they also ended up charging him with something that will trigger the Graves Act in New Jersey, which is like a harsh sentencing statute. They charged him with second-degree possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose. Now, you would think that might be hard to prove because it turns out he used his service weapon. But when you are using your service weapon and you're off duty and you make the decision in the midst of this incident with this guy to pick up your service weapon and form the intent to use it in an unlawful way, it's my opinion that you can be prosecuted because you make that decision right there on the spot. And when you pick that weapon up and you're not on duty and you're not even in New York City and you have no jurisdiction there, and moreover, you have no right to self-defense in that situation that would allow you to use this weapon, you have picked up that weapon and possessed it for an unlawful purpose. And under New Jersey law, it's a second-degree felony to use a gun. It's like maybe a brass knuckles or a ball bat or something might be a lower degree felony, but a firearm is a second-degree felony. And the second-degree felony is 5 to 10 years in prison. And under the Graves Act, if they're able to get that sentencing enhancement, which seeks to make harsh sentences out of first-time offenders for weapons charges. And under the Graves Act, I believe it's like a mandatory 3.5 years of that 5 that has to be served before the person's eligible for parole. Now, obviously, he's got more serious charges he's looking at with the attempted first-degree murder, and he's probably going to be in there for longer than 3.5 years anyway. But this is an amazing thing to me because New York and New Jersey are famous anti-gun places. And you have a situation here where the person who was trusted as the only person trusted to have a gun in New York or New Jersey and allowed to carry it in their car or whatever is a police officer, and this is what happens. This guy's not like, he's in the social media unit. He's not like, he's a 3-year patrol. He's not a guy with 25 years of PTSD. And I shouldn't say that. I don't really know what his background is, and for all I know, he could have been in a harrowing incident 6 months ago. This really had an effect on him. I don't know. What I'm trying to say, though, is that you wouldn't expect a 27-year-old officer with 3 years on the force and currently assigned to the social media unit to be this unhinged. I mean, think about what kind of temper or what kind of outburst it might take in order for you to shoot a person and leave them for dead in the middle of traffic over some argument that happens in a road rage incident. It blows my mind. Now you contrast that, and New York is so anti-gun, you contrast that with the case they had about 1.5 years or 2 years ago where the security guard they charged with unlawful possession of a gun in New York City. The facts were these.
A man is facing attempted murder charges after a shooting in a parking garage. It happened on West 31st Street between 8th and 9th Avenues yesterday morning. Police say 2 men were shot, including the suspect. Both are in stable condition. That suspect has also been charged with assault and burglary.
Prosecutors dropped attempted murder charges against a parking garage attendant accused of shooting a thief. Musa Diarra told police he saw Roadie Charles peering into cars at a garage in Midtown. Police say Charles pulled a gun when Diarra confronted him. Diarra tried to wrestle away the weapon, and that's when the gun went off and a shot hit Diarra. Police say Diarra turned the gun on Charles and shot him twice. Police charged both men with attempted murder and assault. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office threw out the charges against Diarra.
The security guard was working a parking garage and happened upon a person breaking into cars. He confronted the person breaking into cars, and that person pulled a gun on him and shot him. He was able to fight off the guy, disarm the guy, and use his gun against him, and ended up shooting the guy with the gun that was originally used on him. And Alvin Bragg's office charged that guy with unlawful possession of a firearm. They charged this guy criminally because he was shot. He took the gun from the guy who shot him and used it against him, and they took the position that he should be charged with a crime for that. So that's how little of a self-defense right you have in places like New York and New Jersey. And in a place where only the police are allowed to carry guns, this is the kind of stuff you get. So I just wanted to kind of put this out there. I know you guys have probably seen the story, but this blew my mind. Like, they actually had to track this guy down through the First 48 style detective work to figure it out. So my closing argument is, I would just caution you, now this is something that I've sort of undertaken in my political evolution, is to really challenge myself about the things that I believe in and the issues that move me to vote and how they relate to my everyday life. So people get all worked up about stuff and they think, well, I'm going to vote this way based on how I feel about this one issue. And maybe it's like something like abortion. But they forget about the fact that the people who might align with their belief in abortion, something that may or may not ever happen to them, also hate something else that they really stand for that might have a direct impact on their life. So this is one of those situations. And I'm not making a comment one way or the other. I vote how I vote, you vote how you vote. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, this is like a who do you think you are and what do you think you believe in type moment, because when you vote for a person, for president, for instance, you're voting for an entire platform. And it's like a combo meal at McDonald's, and maybe you don't like the fries at McDonald's, but you know, it's just, you get the whole combo, right? And when you vote for Donald Trump or you vote for Joe Biden, you're taking their whole platform. So everything that they stand for, everything they're going to push for, you are adopting it when you vote for that person. Well, I can tell you that it is beyond debate that anybody that you vote for as a modern 2024 Democrat is anti-gun. It is an attack on your Second Amendment right. And I only say that to say that people who don't like guns believe the only people that should have guns are the police and the military. This is what you get when you adopt the position that only the police are allowed to have guns. New York and New Jersey are perfect examples of this, where the only people trusted to have guns are the police, and this is what you get. This just blows my mind. So anyway, this short one for the day, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. I thought this was a crazy story, and leave me a comment. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. Leave me a comment on there as well. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.